Now then, this is about this Casio watch. Now some of you may find it a bit strange that I wear a watch, but it's sort of a force of habit. When you're in business and being organised and all that sort of thing, it's very useful to know what the time is. But currently the thing that is most important for me is that there, because when you're pottering around here on a regular basis, week in week out, you can get adrift from what day it is, so it just reminds you where you are. Anyway, the problem with these watches, and I like them because it does tell you what day it is and you don't have to wind it up, but the problem is that the straps eventually break, and you try and buy a strap and they're not cheap, you know, and you're buying more things. So what I tend to do now, let's zoom out, it's always the end, not the buckle end, the other end that snaps off, just at where you always fix it, that's the word. So there you go. And on this model the strap is screwed on to the watch body either side like that. Anyway, so what I tend to do now is I sew a piece of leather to it. And this is probably fixed this about 6 months ago. So I just thought I'd go through that process. You notice it's only got one hole because it's only for me, and that's the right place. The only problem with this is, really it would have been better if that was just a bit further away, so it allows a bit more room between there and there. And if we go on the side, we will see that I've tapered the leather throughout that joint, so there's not a big square lump just there where my thumb is, and it seems to work quite well. So let's just go through the process. So last time I met up with Thorn Warbler, he gave me a miscellaneous selection of leather, short leather bits, and this is at least 3mm thick, which is ideal. So all we need to do is cut a piece out. So it's a matter of just overlapping that like that. I'm going to cut this one off here. This, as you appreciate, is only an example. So we'll just, and then we want about like that. So we'll just cut that out with Stanley. There we go. Let's just cut that off like that. Okay, now the thing to do is to grind some of this back, so we've got a taper. So noise alert. So no doubt all the leather workers are going, you can't do that. And they would use an extremely sharp shaving knife of some form. But I haven't done that, as you can see. So there we've got a bit of a taper on that. I suppose I could do a very, very sharp chisel. So we'll just cut this off here. And angle that. Okay. Now, when I was a young lad, I remember going to the Army and Navy stores and buying this particular awl. And I thought it was wonderful. So that must have been, 50 years ago nearly, and I've still got it. Okay, so there you go. And all we do now is we clean this up and sew through those holes with some really strong, what they call buttonhole thread. Yeah, and I'm just looking here. I think I did do a, yeah, I did do a hole there, and I'm going to do another hole there, just to stop that flipping up like that. So now I need to go and get the buttonhole thread and a strong needle, and we need to sew that together. And that's it really, but really strong thread. Huh? And then this hole here, you set this up to your wrist, and it's not a single hole, it's an oval that way. So it's easier for the sneck of the buckle there to feed through. Yeah, obviously, as I say, I've been wearing this for 6 months now at least, if not a bit longer, and it's bedded in. I actually put some shoe polish on it as well to soften it up a bit. Okay, and as we can see here, this is slightly narrower than that, so when you get to that point you can just taper this in slightly. And then one of the main things about watch straps, let's just get this right, get it right, is you don't want that all the time, because that is one of the things that breaks the plastic. And it's the little retainer that breaks first, and then the strap breaks. So this is one of those hair grippy things. Yeah, and that works really well. Yeah, and it's robust. And as you imagine, my watch gets a fair amount of hammer. As you can see from the face, it's all scratched, and you know, I'm in the woods and this and that and the other, and the angle grinder in and down the scrapyard. So you know, the strap's got to be pretty strong, and these watches, touch wood, last quite a long time. Right, let's get this on with this. There we go. Quite thick stuff. Where are we? Oh God. So you're not going to break that very easily. So I've got it on a needle. Tie a knot in the end of the two strands. And then let's start, it's not quite in the middle. Okay, and down there. And just pick that round there. Pull it tight, round there and down there. Pull it tight. Right. Now I'm unable to find where the next hole is, so let's just poke it through with the awl. There it is. Down there. Pull it tight, round there, pull it tight. There we go. Now let's just zoom in a bit. Okay, so I found it easier this time. To make sure I knew where the hole was. Pull it all through. Get it in line. Pull it tight. Over there. And through there. And there's the hole. Right, what's going on there? There we go. Okay. Round, down. Now we've got a hole here as well. So let's just consolidate that hole. There it is. And what's gone on right? What's gone wrong there? There we go. Down there. Can we find where that hole is? There it is. Down there. Okay, you get the idea? Except I've gone down the wrong one, haven't I? Typical. Okay. We want to go down that one instead. Okay, so how do we finish it off? Well, how about just going through there like that? Or down there again, or just underneath there. Like that. And then just wrap that round like that. I think that should do. And just cut that off. Okay, there, you got the idea. Yeah, and then I don't want to actually put the hole there, because this is still a reasonable watch strap. So if this one ever packed up in some place which is awkward, I could reuse this. But let me just show you what I do. I've got one of these. Okay, like that, and then you just go again to make a slot. Okay, I'm sure you can work out the rest yourself. Hopefully you found that interesting and entertaining, and at some point you can use these techniques. It's such a small amount of leather that you could no doubt salvage it from all sorts of things, like a belt that is far too long and you end up cutting off 6 inches off the belt because it's always tangling around. Then you could reuse that, or part of a boot or a shoe that is really falling apart at the seams. There'll be one good bit of leather in that. Hope to catch up with you soon. Cheers for now.